We're watching a potential major medical violation unfolding. A truck hauling storage bins pulls up to a dumpster at a medical plaza in East Los Alamos Boulevard in Brownsville. In the bins, thousands of pages of medical records. The front door surveillance camera doesn't catch who's unloading, but the camera owner suspects whoever was in the truck dumped the documents. Calling the Brownsville Police Department and the 4 Investigates team, sharing the footage with both of us and wanting to remain anonymous.
I hope they find out because, first of all, this is HIPAA, and that's not right.
HIPAA is the federal law that protects patients' privacy information from being disposed of incorrectly, like being thrown in a dumpster, instead of being shredded or incinerated. Police watched the 4 Investigates team take the records, put them in our car, and later secure them in a locked office.
Our investigators have since taken the bin as evidence and
officers transported the dumpster to the police station.
Plenty of files.
In the records the 4 Investigates team recovered, there is a reoccurring physician's name, Dr. Rafael Arredondo. Texas Medical Board's database shows Dr. Arredondo's medical license expired August 31st of 2020 and was canceled due to non-payment as of September 9th, 2021. Dr. Arredondo's last medical office lease was at the same medical plaza where the records were dumped, 1084 Los Alamos, but the office closed years ago. We made several attempts to contact Arredondo but have not heard back. Brownsville investigators did too.
We attempted to make contact with the office, the medical office, but there was no contact made after multiple attempts.
Officer Abril Luna with the Brownsville Police confirmed the records dumping isn't their case anymore and sent the records to the Office of the Inspector General for Texas to investigate.
Why do they have it and you all don't?
Because it's mostly a civil matter. So they're going to do mostly their investigation on the part for the violations that were committed with the medical records.
While it is no longer their case, it's disturbing to see patients' private medical history tossed away and opens the door to serious crimes.
Especially because there was tons of files in that bin. Who wouldn't be worried, right? That their documents, that their information, medical records are out there, and who knows who has it.
While Brownsville investigators did their part, the 4 Investigates team is digging deeper. Of the dozens of records we salvaged, our team attempted to make contact with phone numbers on file for several days and hours of calls and explanations. Some patients hung up. Some patients outraged.
No, I'm really upset, really upset about it. It could ruin my life.
This former patient of Dr. Arredondo didn't want to be identified, but her voice heard.
Well, you trust the doctors, they make you sign the HIPAA form, and what for? It ends up in a dumpster with all your information.
Yeah. This is yours.
Thank you.
She's taken a minute to soak in
Yes,
the disappointment and frustration.
It's mine. And it's not too long ago.
This patient is thankful her private records didn't end up with scammers, and it's all because of a tip to police and the 4 Investigates team.
So I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
Handing me back my medical records.
A laugh of relief, but the reality is no laughing matter. Among the patients were elderly seniors, children who were in the custody of the federal government's Office of Refugee Resettlement, and pediatric cases as young as 4 years old.
It's just a lot of information on someone to have been thrown in a dumpster.
Cybersecurity expert Kevin Krause has worked with federal agencies and is now the Chief Information Officer at the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley.
This is treasure.
To a criminal, this is, yes, it is a huge treasure. It's what we call crown jewels.
Almost better than gold at this point.
Data is the single most valuable commodity on the planet today.
Wow.
A commodity because a privacy pirate can buy your social security number for as little as $1 on the black market and rack up massive profits.
You can also use it to steal health insurance benefits.
And for the pediatric and child cases, it could take a decade for a parent to figure out they've been victimized right under their nose.
Getting a hold of a profile when they're young, helps them build long-term, because these criminals are in it for the long haul.
So this is a big deal.
To me, this is a big deal, yes.
Yeah. This is evidence.
Yes.
You got a dead roach right there. That thing's been there for a minute.
In tonight's Food for Thought, we have roaches, and it's not just a few. We're going to a kitchen with some of the most blatant violations we've ever caught on camera. Plus, we're introducing the Que Asco cam for the first time, and we're also celebrating the success of a small business with some big dreams and big appetites for pizza. Get ready. Here's what's Que Rico and what's Que Asco in tonight's Food for Thought. Let's go. Give Mikey's Pizza and Shots at 1907 Lubbock Street in Harlingen a top performer sticker.
We're back with another sticker.
Another top performer sticker because Mikey's Pizza and Shots has the same owner and kitchen staff from 2022 top performer Station 1. Manager Omar Trevino is happy to see the Food Patrol yet again.
Makes, I think, everybody, like the entire crew, happy.
Happy is the dream, and Mikey's is the new hotspot for locals to grab a drink and a slice.
Que salga la news que he's gonna buy me a drink.
It's a good time at Mikey's, and the team is celebrating their top performer status.
Proud to work here. I enjoy working this place, and I will rep this place wherever I go.
Grab a slice, order a cold one, take a picture with the sticker. That's Que Rico! But it's Que Asco time! And we're heading to Mi Taqueria Rio Bravo at 3010 East Mile 11 in Mercedes. They were inspected twice. They had 18 violations on their February 1st inspection for dirty cutting boards, tortilla packs missing food labels, out of regulation storage containers, dirty walls, ceiling, and equipment. They were inspected again on February 8th and busted for roaches. Rio Bravo isn't learning from its mistakes because we showed up after Easter weekend. Owner Luis Gutierrez gave us permission to go into their kitchen.
So he was okay with us going and check it out?
Yeah, he said that to like let you guys in.
Okay, sounds good.
And for customers' sake, we're glad we did. Out of the 4 refrigerators, we're spotting violations galore.
Okay, bro, that in the back, what is that?
That's food from the yesterday afternoon.
So that's your food from yesterday?
Yeah, that's my food from yesterday.
So you're acknowledging that it's cross-contamination?
Kind of, yeah.
But you're still doing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, okay, yeah. You got me there, yeah.
That's 1 fridge and 3 more to go. The others are the same, a mix of customers' food, employees' food, and bugs' food. That's a dead earwig right next to a dead fly.
I'm nervous to check this one out.
No, go ahead, man.
Take a look from the Que Asco cam. Dead roaches in the seals.
And, okay, so when was the last time this one was cleaned out?
This was cleaned the day before we went to vacation.
Easter vacation, that is.
Okay, because you got a dead roach right there. That thing's been there for a minute.
The 4th fridge is no different.
Okay, so you got another roach in here.
Here's a look from the Que Asco cam.
And you got hair in here.
We've seen enough to ask the most important question for you, the customer.
Is that good for you all? Like, are you okay with still serving with food, knowing that there's dead roaches?
¿Cómo? Que si estamos bien sirviendo la comida, sabiendo que hay cucarachas en el refri. No.
Okay.
And that's food for thought.
Que rico, que asco.
I heard her say no pulse.
Sonia Hernandez is living a mother's worst nightmare, preparing to bury her 8-year-old baby boy, Caleb Edward Ramirez. Caleb loves football, his mom and dad, siblings, and riding his bike. But Friday, April 26, at around 7:30 p.m., his precious life ended. He was hit by a truck while riding his bike just feet away from his parents' driveway on East Eller Street in Farr. Flowers, his favorite snacks, and toys lay next to evidence markers left behind by crime scene investigators. Justice for Caleb, written in street chalk. If the horrors of losing a child couldn't get any worse, Sonia's nightmare took a darker turn when she logged onto social media.
I blame myself as a parent, I do. I see the comments, but the only thing that I want to clarify that my son was not responsible for his own death.
Saturday, media outlets reported preliminary information from the Farr Police Department stating the driver backed into her son, the driver stopped, called 911, and no criminal charges are anticipated. Sonia calling the information a flat-out lie because she told investigators video existed and presented it to them on Saturday morning.
And for a moment, I was upset at you guys. The authorities knew that there was a pending video. Right. So if they knew that there was a pending video with possible information, I don't understand why they would release any information to the press.
Police say they are declining our interview request because it's a pending investigation, despite them releasing inaccurate information in the first place. It's a cutting wound to a broken heart.
So that means my baby died scared.
You're gonna get recognized today by the city? Is that like a little weird, awkward?
Yeah.
Officer Nicholas Castillo with the Harlingen Police Department wears a lot of hats. Officer, husband, dad, and tonight, a hero.
I had asked, the commander, I was like, no, I'm okay, but he's like, no, you're gonna get this award.
Hey, sometimes you gotta celebrate the wins.
Yeah.
But he doesn't feel that way. The modest officer was at the right place at the right time on June 27th, just before 3 a.m. An EMS service call went out for an unresponsive child at the Little Red Schoolhouse daycare, a call he just so happened to hear over the radio.
We have the computers, where we see each call come out. I just happened to click on it, see, what the call was. Automatically, advise dispatch, I'm gonna go see what's going on.
The child, 15-month-old Reilani Camacho, had blue lips, hands, feet, and nose.
When I get there, that's when I see one of the daycare workers holding the unresponsive little girl, and I just do my best to, administer first aid until EMS is able to get there. Everything happened so fast, I wasn't able to keep track of it. I felt like a lifetime, when you have that little girl just trying to help her survive until they get there.
Castillo, a devout Christian and dad to a little girl under 2, felt God and his little girl were with him. Was your daughter on the back of your mind?
For sure, I saw my daughter and the little girl, and I would just doing whatever any other officer here, would do for anybody, especially in that situation.
The call for service turned into a Harlingen police major crimes investigation when Officer Castillo reviewed the daycare's cameras. He said Belinda Perez, Reilani's caregiver, picked her up out of the crib, covered her mouth, stopping her from breathing, and put her back in the crib. Perez is in jail, Reilani making a miraculous recovery after days in Valley Baptist Medical Center's pediatric ICU. Reilani's mom calling Castillo a hero.
And I truly feel like God put these people in our path.
A path of purpose. Do you think that God was guiding you at that moment?
Oh, definitely.
Seemed as though he had a weight lifted off of his shoulders when he said the one word that federal prosecutors wanted him to say, and that's guilty. Today, former school board president Frank Alanis pled guilty to conspiracy to possess more than 11 pounds of cocaine with intent to distribute. Alanis helped smugglers acquire tractor-trailers to move the drugs north. That operation went bust when Progreso ISD bus driver Joe Salas was busted at the Sarita checkpoint with around 30 pounds of cocaine on August 8, 2020. Salas pled guilty, and over the next 4 years, federal agents built cases against 11 people, including former mayors Arturo Alaman and Jerry Alanis, Frank's younger brother. Jerry's trial was set to begin October 7th, but with today's guilty plea, U.S. District Judge Fernando Rodriguez Jr. granted Jerry's request to delay his trial to November 4th. Carlos Garcia is Frank's attorney. Is he expected to testify in his brother's case?
Not at this point. Obviously, he had a Fifth Amendment privilege that is now lost because he's pled guilty, but he has not been subpoenaed to testify in his brother's case, and I don't anticipate that the government would ask one brother to testify against another.
As for sentencing?
Well, I would hope that the court finds some leniency for Mr. Alanis and his service to the community over a period of years. I think is something that should go into the calculus of an eventual sentence.
Now, the judge could sentence Frank Alanis to life in prison, but because of today's admission of guilt, his attorney expects him to give him a much lighter sentence. However, that day will not come until January of next year. With the 4 Investigates team, I'm Derick Garcia.